Meal kits often market themselves as an easy meal prep solution, but often disappoint with complicated, overlong recipes that aren't worth the effort. Fortunately, Home Chef knows that struggle and delivers fresh, delicious meal kits that respect your time. You guys, lately, I have been so freaking busy recording all of these episodes, all of these extra episodes. And when it comes to dinner time, I am wiped out and I do not have 45 minutes to an hour to cook something for myself or for anybody else. Users of leading meal kits have rated Home Chef number one in quality, convenience, value, taste, and recipe ease. This is what I'm talking about. Easy recipes. So, whether you prefer the classic meal kits with the pre portioned ingredients, which I like, but lately they've also got these quick 30-minute recipes, which is saving my life. They also have oven ready options, which are another lifesaver. They have microwave meals, or they have a dedicated family menu that is, if you've got little kids, sometimes you need to get something different. Home Chef has everything you and your family needs for those hassle-free, delicious dinners. Home Chef has over 30 options a week and serves a variety of dietary needs. Plus, we love this, it's economical. Home Chef customers save an average of $86 a month on groceries. That's a lot of money. And when meal planning ends up being on the back burner, check out Home Chef's new 5-ingredient meals that simplify prep with super easy recipe steps using 5 fresh pre-portioned ingredients. Y'all, you can get in the kitchen, you can pull it out of the fridge, you can prep it in 10 minutes, pop it in the oven, and you've got dinner on the table and everybody's happy, okay? For a limited time, Home Chef is offering my listeners 18 free meals plus free dessert for life and, of course, free shipping on your first box. Go to homechef.com/pinkshade. That's homechef.com/pinkshade for 18 free meals and free dessert for life. Homechef.com/pinkshade. Must be an active subscriber to receive free dessert. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Pink Shade Prime. It is Mary Payne here with Kimberly. And yeah, we're here to talk about the Baldwins. We don't care. We don't care if you don't like it. We like it. Okay? We're very, very, very defensive of people.
We know you're judging us.
We know, but we like it.
We're embarrassed and we're putting our shame out there for everyone. We could have
Listen,
just kept it to ourselves and just watched it in silence and not said anything, but that's not who we are.
mm-mm, mm-mm. We're keeping it real. We're keeping
Yeah.
it real. And I did come across 2 of my friends this weekend that said, like, I like Alec Baldwin. I think it's light and airy other than the murder. Yeah, I
Other
think
than
it's
this the murder, the crying, the
Mhm,
depression. Other than
mhm.
that, it's so fun. It's just kids running around.
Yeah.
How you say chaotic? How
How
you
you s
say
how you say Alec?
crying?
How you say Alec bang bang? So
Oh, too
oh,
sweet.
no. Sorry. All right. This is the Baldwins episode 2, and the title of It's Really Complicated. It is. Their house, their lives, everything is very complicated.
Absolutely. I
When
would
she married this movie star, she did not think.
no. When
Ooh,
they stopped using birth control, they did not think.
I did, I did hear so Guy Branum was on, Heather McDonald's show this past week. So they are friends from the Chelsea Lately days, and then he, also was a writer on Ellen with Karen Kilgariff, yet another way. I'm trying to get at Karen
Wow.
Kilgariff. 6 Ways to Sunday I've been trying, guys. And, anyway, he was saying that he was a writer on this show that was greenlit, that was taping, and it was a show with Kelsey Grammer and Alec Baldwin and somebody else, and they were like the 3 retired guys, whatever,
Uh-huh.
a sitcom,
Yeah.
and
That
it was
sounds fun.
going, and he was writing and he was doing it, and then this happened, and they canceled the whole thing. Everybody
Oh,
lost their job.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's what happens.
Yep. So, we open with the messy house, and we see dog poop on the rug, and that upset me.
Yeah, and we saw Pete last time.
Mhm.
So these little dogs are not potty trained
They're not trained, and who
or
has
wearing
time?
diapers
Mm-mm,
or
nothing.
anything. Yeah.
So,
And that
Carmen
can't be good for his OCD.
no. Can you imagine if he steps on, like, dog poop when he gets up to, like, go to the bathroom in the middle of the night? That would
Yeah.
be
I've done
mm,
that many times because my
mm-mm.
dog had some incontinence issues
I'm sorry.
when he was older.
Yeah. Um, so Carmen, the 10-year-old, 10 or 40, hard to tell. She's in the kitchen, making a face mask. She's getting coffee grounds.
Smoking a
She's getting
cigarette
honey. She's
and,
taking a cig break.
yeah.
Carmen. Um, and Hilaria is saying, Carmen really is like an adult, but she really needs to remember that she's a kid, but she didn't want to go to the day camps. Like all the kids were going to day camps. And Carmen says, no, I stay home. There's vacuum and laundry to do. I don't want to go to
Uh-huh.
day camp. Right.
I'm the therapist for both my parents,
Hmm.
and, I'm my mom's best friend and support system. So,
Clearly.
yeah, and
Yeah.
there's laundry I gotta do because
Yeah. I'm
when the kid's
busy.
away, mom's busy.
Yeah. So we get an interview with Carmen, age 10, who is fluffing her hair and talking about being the oldest of seven. And she goes, it's weird to be the oldest of seven because I'm parenting along with my parents. But it's good because then I can stay up later and I get to go out to dinner with my parents. It's not good. You're 10.
No, none of this is good. You shouldn't be parenting. I mean, I know it
Mm,
happens a little
it does.
in all families,
Yeah.
but this is feeling like Duggars, where they have one of the older kids
Yeah.
assigned to a younger kid.
Yeah. It was that way
And
on the Plaths. They
yeah,
all had an assignment. Yeah.
that's what it's feeling like.
It's not good.
Like,
It's
even
not
when
good.
she's alone with the baby, she's babysitting the baby, I was like, "Are 10-year-olds supposed to babysit babies?
No.
I don't think so." Like, I started babysitting when I was, like, 13 probably.
Yeah. 12 or 13. And this was like my cousins. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, and they were
Um,
older and not babies.
no, they were 6 years younger than me. So
Yeah,
like they were 6 and I was
yeah,
12. Yeah.
yeah.
She says, look, I know I'm my dad's favorite, but it changes every day, like the wind. So she says, also he's funny 40% of the time, but he says a lot of things like back in my day. Yeah. He's 66 years old.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, so she goes to find her dad to do a face mask. She says the face mask is for your small lips. And he says, I'd like to ask you to refrain from making unpleasant comments about me while you do this. And let me tell you what Carmen has that I have. Same tool.
Oh, is that
Carmen
the
is
light up one?
yeah, Carmen is 10. It has this modes. The red mode is what I use because it's for wrinkles. Well, shit, where's the red mode? There it is. Red mode. When you do it on your face, listen to what
Yeah.
it does.
Ooh, I want one of those.
Yeah, it like tightens up your face with the red light as you do it.
Can you use it under your chin?
Hmm.
Okay, I need one of those.
Yeah, I was influenced on the TikTok.
Tell me, yeah,
Okay.
listeners, tell me if that actually works and if I should get one.
No idea. It's from a company called True Beauty Glow. I saw somebody on TikTok and I was like, it's sold.
Sounds legit.
Just like Deanna Chang found out about the lipsies from TikTok, and
Mhm,
now I'm using that. You guys, I
mhm.
am so easily influenced. So she's using that on him, trying to help him out. And I said, Carmen and I, again, just elder ladies,
Yes.
have the same beauty products.
Mhm. Also,
Um,
so many beauty products in a house that is just their summer house. Like,
right.
did they travel with all that stuff, or is it always just there?
I think that's the only place in the world she has space because in that New York City apartment she didn't have any space.
That's true.
Yeah. So he says his relationship with his daughter Ireland, and a lot of people said on the first episode, "Oh, he never even mentioned her." He did mention her on the first episode,
He didn't
Ireland.
go into their relationship though now, and so I was curious.
Yeah, but he did mention her. It wasn't like
Mhm.
they pretended she didn't exist.
Yeah.
He says, "My relationship with my daughter Ireland was negatively impacted by a long drawn out divorce with her mother, and in addition to that, it was a long drawn out custody battle." He said, "And the media had such a good time for 7 years with that news. The financial stuff of our divorce took 1.5 years, but the custody stuff took 6."
That's crazy.
He said it was insanity.
That's
And he
her
said,
whole, like,
yeah,
teenage years.
he says, my biggest regret, of course, is how it affected Ireland, but she's grown up now. She's 28. I have a good relationship with her. We see lots of pictures and stuff of them. And she says she loves the kids as like an older sister, but she's not in the pack, you know?
Yeah.
And
I
thank
wish
God.
she would, come over more and help Carmen, so Carmen didn't have to feel like the
So,
oldest.
so Carmen can get a break. She's
Yeah.
tired.
Yeah.
Um, I hope we're going to actually see Ireland because I do enjoy looking
I
at her.
I need some reassurance that they are close because, I remember that voicemail.
Everybody does.
Yeah.
They're not going to mention that.
No,
No.
they're definitely not.
And he says, and that's, probably one of the reasons I'm so close to Carmen, because I've got like a girl all over again. And he says, and I got to tell you, Carmen was an only child for 2 years and she misses it.
Mhm.
She didn't know she was going to be a full executive at age 3.
Mhm.
So Carmen's rubbing this stuff all over his face and saying, this is how we make dad shut up and not eat. Wow. Wow. She says, so she's doing the thing
He's
on his
really been
face.
emasculated by everyone in that
Yeah,
house.
he sure has. And she says, this is 66 years of not washing your face. Okay. So she's doing this. She's like, this is for your eye bags. Like she's rubbing that on his face.
He needs
And,
it because of those eye bags.
and when we just saw him at the SNL thing, it didn't appear that he'd had the lower bluff yet.
No. Was it bad? I don't
It looks
remember.
exactly the
It
same.
looks the same, yeah.
Yeah, he hasn't done it yet, but
Mm.
maybe he's waiting till the end of the show to
Yeah.
get the TLC check, 'cause sometimes they don't clear. And so she says, this is 66 years of not washing your face. Okay, this is for your eye bags. And she's using the device. And Carmen goes, so, Dad, what are you going to do on your anniversary? You going to hang out with me and Mom?
Yeah.
And he says, your mother, Hilaria, is the most special woman I've ever met. And I thought that when I first met her. And I still think that today. He and Carmen joke around about she's pulling his face back, how he needs a facelift, which I said, this is my exact words here. I think that's coming once the TLC check clears.
Mhm.
Hilaria comes in and goes, well, you look fantastic. And she takes pictures of him. And the talking head, Hilaria, says he really is a great dad. Now, we do get a talking head of him by himself on this episode where he does look like he's pulled himself together a little bit more.
Yeah.
His hair was a little cleaner. His
Mhm.
shirt wasn't stained.
Yeah.
He didn't look homeless.
Mhm.
So outside, they're all getting ready for dinner. The pizzas have been delivered, and they keep showing the pizza boxes, which means they probably got them for free.
It looks
And
good.
one of the pizzas falls on the ground, and Hilaria's like,
Still looks good.
this pizza's special. This pizza's special." And he goes, "Somebody dropped it. Somebody dropped it. Did somebody drop it?" And she was like, "This one's gonna be the best one." And he goes, "I don't care. I don't care if you threw it down a flight of stairs." And so they give him the box with the pizza that's been on the ground, and he goes, "Fine.
Yeah, he's
You get
used
a
to it.
pizza."
I think having that many kids does lessen your germs issue.
Well, that's true. He's like, "I'll eat it. It's fine. Dad'll eat it."
Yeah,
In the talking head,
still
she
looks good.
says, Alex's trial in New Mexico is coming up. And it's scary, especially because, we have 7 kids. And we're really kind of trying to decide if Hilaria should go to the trial. Should they take some kids? Should they take all the kids? Should she stay home with kids? But I mean, really, the thought process is if he goes to New Mexico for the trial, we may never see him again.
Yeah.
Like, she's like, he may be gone for a year and a half. So they sit outside to chat alone, to which I say Carmen and the nannies have taken all the other kids inside.
Seriously.
Um, and Alex starts to do a bit about how much he loves this shirt and how the store doesn't exist anymore in LA. And they'd gotten pizza sauce on
I
it.
know that shirt. My boss had all of his shirts from that store.
What was the name of the store? Can you remember?
Carol and Company. Yeah.
Carol and
It's
Company.
very old, like old school Hollywood.
Yeah.
Because my boss was old school Hollywood. Yeah.
Because he goes, I had this shirt from Carol and Company. It's the best shirt store in all of LA, and you can't get them anymore. And he's doing this whole thing, and she's just staring at him. And he says, "You never laugh at my bits. Did you know I won an Emmy for 30 Rock?" And she goes, "You know what? I'm in power save mode. Power save mode." And he goes, "Oh, like low power mode." She's like, "Yeah," which I get it.
I feel
Listen,
that.
yeah. Like she's like, I do that when I'm not when I've been doing so much extra recording.
Mhm,
I literally go
mhm.
downstairs and I'm like, I can't talk. I don't want anybody
No,
to talk to me.
no.
Dave and I went to like a nice dinner a couple of nights ago.
After you have been recording,
hmm
that's too much.
And I was like, I know I'm not going to be very fun at this meal because I don't want to talk.
No, that's too much. Oh, that's way too much.
And the talking head, the producer asked, is this anniversary more meaningful because it's right before the trial? And she says, sometimes relationships go through dark periods and that's what's happening, but we're
Mhm.
solid. We're together. So he tells her, he goes, okay, so the schedule is this. I got to go to LA to work for 3 days. And I used to love it. but I don't love it so much anymore because of the kids. And like now I don't want to do it as much. And she goes, also is the strain of the last couple of years. And she goes, but when you leave and you get to go and work, you need to have gratitude and be grateful for the work,
Yeah.
accept the work. Somebody wants you there.
Mhm.
And he goes, oh, I'm accepting the work. All right. And she says, yes. And I'm grateful that you go. He does a quick look at the camera, like Jim from The Office. Like, did you hear that? She wants me to go. Like he does a bit real quick.
Yeah.
And she says, I'm grateful that you go because then you make money to take care of our family.
Mhm.
And she says, next month is going to be really
Also, I
hard.
keep posting all photos of our children on the internet and making money that way.
Sometimes a paparazzi is called and they pay me $10,000 to take all 7 children outside.
Yeah.
So she says next month's going to be hard, but I do prefer it that we're all here together right now. And she says, you're not alone. Like you're not alone. And they hug and whatever. The talking head, he says, the last couple of years with everything that's happened with the shooting and everything, he says, I've been really down. And you know what? My wife also was really down and she didn't want to get out of bed, but she did because we have all these kids here. And I feel so lucky to have her, which I think is really great that he could recognize, like, I didn't want to get out of bed, so I just didn't.
Mhm.
But she didn't want to get out of bed, but she had to. I
She's the
think that's,
mom.
yeah, I think it's nice for him to, recognize that.
Yeah.
And they're sitting in a talking head together, and he says, in this business in the last year, I lost a lot of work. Into which I thought of that Kelsey Grammer show that he was in.
Yeah.
And he goes, and people just left. They just disappeared. He goes, I guess it's ghosting. Disappeared. Never talked to me again. And he said, I've experienced a reversal of fortune. And now I realize I can't be as picky or as finicky about jobs that I have been in the past, which is
Mhm.
very interesting when you think of like old school Hollywood actor, very successful in a sitcom, very successful on like Saturday Night Live and in serious roles. And now he's like, now I got to scrape the bottom of the barrel because of this accident.
Yeah. Welcome to, Hollywood for women over 40.
Yeah, I'm gonna say welcome to Hollywood for almost everybody else.
Yeah.
Now we start getting this clock, 7 days until trial. Alec has gone to LA for 2 days. We see the nannies, Paola and Lizzie, working in the kitchen. And then I'm sure Carmen's in there like, what can I do to help you ladies? Here's some bags.
Paula, you clean that. Here, I'm gonna do this. I'm scrubbing the floor, okay? Ladies, let's get this done.
Did you see the giant portrait of Hilaria over the mantle?
I missed
Mhm. There's one over the mantle with like 5 of the kids, maybe like all in a bed
Uh-huh.
together. And then there's one, and I don't know which room it's in, but sometimes it's been in the background.
Uh-huh.
And I think it's because, especially TLC, but Bravo does this too. They can't get the rights to the art. So they just blow up a family size picture and slap it on top of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so it's sort of like a pop culture kind of like a drawing of Hilaria. But
Mhm.
obviously she commissioned it. I mean,
Yeah.
Dorit Kemsley's got one too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that they don't have one of those, like, Andy Warhol style ones,
Oh,
with
I'm
the different
sure they
color
do, but they probably
squares.
can't get the rights for that,
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, okay, so Hilaria is telling she's going over to Leo on the couch and going, "Yeah, I need if you're gonna go, like, I'm gonna need to do your eardrops now." She's talking to the other kids. It's like, "You're gonna have so much fun at camp and see the other kids." And then we see the stacking of the iPads, of which I've never seen such. She was taking iPads away, and I'm thinking, do they have like 6 iPads? Because there were some that were blue, some that were pink, and I'm sure they all have a sticker with their name on them
Mhm.
for their different ages.
Yeah. I just think of all the cords they must have in that house.
I
Like, all
know.
the charging cords just
Yeah,
everywhere.
yeah. And you wonder also too if they have one of those, like, stations where you can just plop them onto charge, like, the kids are at
Right,
camp, gonna
right.
charge them. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, fine, good for them. If I had that many kids, I would not be like, "No screen time."
Oh,
I'd be like, "Go watch a movie."
take your own iPad, the one that's, programmed for your age.
Yeah. I was raised on television, and I'm fine.
Yeah, me too.
Kind
Me
of.
too. Me
Kind of.
too.
I do have some
Um,
issues.
um And then she's like, the iPads are being taken away. She's like, what are you guys doing in the pantry? Some of the kids are coming out of the pantry. And then Carmen is telling the baby, one of the 3-year-olds, don't do the middle finger. Don't. And the baby's, "Mm." And Hilaria comes up and was like, well, listen, this finger is good. This one is bad. It was okay. And then it's like, okay, everybody to the porch for sunscreen. And Carmen's like, line them up, line them up. I need oldest to youngest. Here we go.
I know.
Um,
Poor Carmen.
God. So in the talking head, Hilaria says, yeah, I mean, people are like, oh, well, you don't complain you signed up for this. Yes, obviously I signed up for this. I chose to have this many children. And I'm trying to raise these kids the best I can through a very difficult experience right now. And what I do is try my best to just explain things to them rather than only telling them some things and having them fill in the blanks. And I've had to have very difficult conversations with the kids. And she says, I have to try to fill the kids' days with positive energy, but it doesn't mean they ignore the bad things. And yeah, I do go into the bathroom and scream and cry. By the way, I don't ever recommend going into a bathroom and screaming at the top of your lungs. That will alarm people.
Well, she said, I go to one of the bathrooms. I was like, how big is this place? One of the bathrooms that far away from people. No, so like the East Wing or something
Mhm.
bathroom. Like it's
Yeah.
that far away that people won't hear.
Mhm.
Wow, that's a big place.
But I'm thinking in New York, they don't
No,
have that.
in that apartment, yeah.
It is a 5-bedroom apartment, so it's huge,
But
but
you would
still.
still hear it, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe just
Um,
weep silently.
yeah. Just cry in the shower.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah.
use your time for
Mhm.
double.
Mhm.
Listen to a podcast too. Knock out 3 things at
Yeah.
once.
An audiobook and you're like
Yeah.
book club, you're getting it all done. Yeah.
So now we see her taking the kids to day camp. She's got 5 kids in the car. She's 4 boys and then the other 3-year-old that's Lulu. Carmen's home watching the baby, of course.
Again, I don't think that's right.
Mm-mm. In the car, they FaceTime dad because he's in LA. The kids fight over the phone, and Lulu grabs it and says, "Stop it, bitch!
I was wondering what the bleep was.
Bitch." Mhm. Yep. Stop it, bitch.
I mean, I think this is so relatable. I know so
Yeah.
many people, parents who are like, my kid said a bad word at preschool that they totally picked up from me. And now I had to talk to the principal. Like, I
Yeah.
think that happens all the time.
I had a lot of years of having to watch my mouth.
Yeah.
It was after Anna at age 3 used the word fuck correctly in a sentence. And I was like, oh
Yeah.
no, oh no, 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 no. So then after that, I had to really watch it. Now it's just everybody in the house curses freely.
Yeah.
Um, so in the talking head, Hilaria says, um, she's telling what Carmen said, which is when daddy goes to New Mexico, will he be gone for a long time? And she says, I don't know. And she says, should I say goodbye to him in a special way just in case he is? Because I feel like they're trying to take my daddy away from me. And I told her, yes, you should say goodbye in a special way. And she just lost it. Carmen. Carmen has too much on her.
My heart breaks for Carmen.
So worried about
This
Carmen.
is not something a 10-year-old should have to worry about.
Mm-mm, mm-mm. So she drops the kids off at camp. And what I was thinking was, if anybody ever listens to Radio Andy Cohen's show, he talked a lot about in the summer in the Hamptons dropping his oldest son at camp and how he never wanted to go or anything. And so then he was kind of using reverse psychology on him, like, well, you don't have to go. But I mean, they were asking me, like, you're going to come and they were going to do tennis today. But like, because he said the summer before, he was like, no, you have to go. Like, we've paid for it. But then the
Yeah,
next
yeah.
summer, he was like, now I've come up with a different thing. My
Mhm.
therapist told me to do this. But he was for a while recording his son, like what he was saying on the way
Yeah.
to camp. And he
Mhm.
wasn't showing his face, but just the funny things he was saying about,
Uh-huh.
by my calculations, he was almost like 4, saying,
That's hilarious.
by my calculations, I'll be there 3 hours. Da, 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 da. And Andy's like, where are you getting these calculations? He's like, and by my calculation, I don't want to go.
Oh
I
my
would
god,
like to only go for 1 hour.
that's
And Andy
hilarious.
goes, well, recalculate once you get there. See how you feel. Yeah. And I was like, I bet they go to the same camp
Yeah, probably.
because Andy's got at least 2 kids that fall in that category.
Mhm.
Yeah. If I ever meet him, I'm going to ask him. So now we see Alec in LA who's doing some sort of motion capture things. They've got him one of those black suits, but they've got the balls on him
Mhm.
that will capture his movements. And the guy is gearing him up, like sticking the stuff on him and telling him about, oh, yeah, when we first started doing this, it was with Tom Hanks. We had to stick it directly on the skin before we had the suits. And Alex says, Even Tom Hanks has to put up with this bullshit. I mean, Alec Baldwin is funny.
He's
He
hilarious.
he's so funny.
He's really deadpan and very
Yeah.
quick, like
Yeah.
super just quick-witted. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I quote 30 Rock all the time, and I don't even know if I watched it all the way through. I just
Yeah.
it's like, what am I, a farmer?
I never watched it. I
Well,
have Tracy Jordan bugs me, and I don't know
Liz
why.
Lemon comes into his office, after hours or whatever, 5:30 on a Tuesday, and he's in a tux. And she walks in and goes, "Are you in a tux?" And he goes, "What am I, a farmer? Of course." Because it's like it's in the afternoon. He was going
Yeah.
out to dinner. He goes, "What am I, a farmer?" Yeah. Okay. So now we see the motion capture process collects data to create a digital Alec Baldwin that could be used from anything from video games to animated movies and more. So I guess he's literally like selling his likeness.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it seems like
Wow.
it.
Hmm.
Wow, technology.
Wow. So just another way for everybody to sell out. So
Another way for artists to be replaced by
by AI.
their old former selves.
Hmm. Yeah. Just put that old face on him and keep it going.
Mhm.
So in the talking head, Alec tears up talking about his dad, and his dad just loved the movies. And when he called his dad to say he was leaving GW, shout out DC, that he was leaving GW, his mom screamed so much on the phone, he thought the phone was going to melt. But his dad was like, wait, let's just let him try it because his dad loved the movie so much. So he went to New York. He studied acting for like a year and a half, he says, and he got on a soap, The Doctors. And we see some still shots of that. I was like, ooh, look at him.
Mhm.
He looks so different. His hair,
Yeah.
I guess because his hair was so light. That was 1982. Even I was still in middle school.
Wow.
Okay.
Even Mary Payne.
Yeah.
Decrepit old Mary Payne.
1968. So 1978, I would have been, so I was 14 in 1982 when he was on The Doctors.
Wow.
Wow. You were not born?
No, I was born.
Okay. So after that, he goes, I made some good movies. I made some so-so movies. I made some shitty movies. But now he talks about some various movies and directors and actors. He does a lot of name dropping here. He talks about he was in Beetlejuice and he goes, the whole time I was like, I don't get it. What am I
That's how
doing?
I would feel about that movie. If I
Yeah.
was there, I would have been like, "Is this good or is this weird,
And
dumb?"
then they did a
Like, I don't
was he a remake?
I don't know. I didn't watch the remake.
I didn't like
That
the
movie
beginning.
scared me a lot when I was a kid.
The Michael Keaton character, right?
Yeah, of
Scared me.
course.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Or everything about it, the whole vibe just scared me. There
Me
was a
too.
lot of, like, weird stuff in, like, the '80s, but,
Hmm. Hmm.
um, like, anything from the
Like the
'70s
Gremlins. The
too.
Gremlins was
Yeah,
scary.
Gremlins, like, I was scared of, The Goonies, like,
Mm.
and I was scared of Willy Wonka, and, like, I was scared of
Oh.
anything that, like, the, Never-Ending Story, like, creeped me the F out, like, I don't
I
like
was
any of
never
them.
scared of Willy Wonka. I was very scared of, like, Sasquatch, anything Bigfoot related, very scared of.
So no Harry and the Hendersons, because that was one of my favorite movies. I
Yeah, but
love
that was literally, like, by the time I was in college, I
Gotcha.
think. Really, honestly. Um, no, I was scared of that kinda stuff, and I was yeah, but
And now
Beetlejuice, I
you
was scared
love
of
your
too.
sassy Sasquatch.
Look, they're right there. There they are. There they are. I
And the
moved them
sneaky
because of
and sassy
yeah,
Sasquatches.
yeah. Okay, so he says in 1989, he did The Hunt for Red October with Sean Connery, and he does the Sean Connery accent, which was great. And he kinda tears up and he says, "I had a lot of good years. I did 30 Rock."
I thought he
And
was crying over Sean Connery. He goes, "That man was just the best, like, and I got to work with him." Like,
yeah, I don't know if he was crying over Sean Connery or if he was crying over my career's in this shitter and I'm not gonna be able to retire because I got 7 kids. Like, I don't know. He says, I did 30 Rock and there've been some unpleasantries in life. And it's hard now to cut out time with each of these children. And so it's hard when I can't be with them because, it's he can't cut out time for each one of them. He's really not even there. So he doesn't like want to work that much. He thought he'd
mhm,
be retired, but he's not.
mhm.
5 days until trial. Hilaria is talking to Carmen, of course, about the 12-year anniversary present she got for dad. It's traditionally silk and pearls. So she has gotten a Saint Michael protection scarf in silk, very Catholic.
Mhm.
She got him this Saint Michael's necklace too. And So he will always know that it's like a necklace for him to wear with St. Michael's on it, made of pearls. And she's like, so he'll know that we're by his side. But I was like, that's a girl's necklace. I don't think it's going to fit. So then she goes, and I also got this thing from the internet. It's these real pearl shells, and you open them, and then you pull the shells out. Okay, what do you have? Do you have a pen? You guys, Carmen, I know you have some tweezers over there in your kit. It's 10-year-old. So she pulls out the tweezers and pries it open.
Pearl. If anyone knows what pearl parties are, this is what's happening. And I used to be obsessed with pearl parties, and
Never heard of it.
It's these live streams where people are literally shucking these like oysters that have these fake, like from Michael's or Joann's, beads in them. And then it's like, ooh, you got a pink one. And look at this beautiful one that you got, Jennifer. Jenna, how's everyone going in the chat? And like people are buying them so that to watch the person open them. Like they also did like candles or like bath bombs, and you like you buying them live so you get a shout out, and it's very sad. And then you get this pearl that is worth like 25 cents, and then
maybe
they upsell you on like if you want it set in like a necklace or something like that. And then they're like, twins, you got twins, 2 blue ones. And they're not real. Like they're made in like a bathtub with like dye to make them like those colors. It's very bizarre. Katie and I did like a Patreon episode years ago where we discussed at length because we got sucked in to this like pearl party, and there's like drama in the comments, or like people like and people are there like every night, and they like know each other. They like hang out in the chat and watch the pearl parties. If anyone knows what I'm talking about, it's so weird.
I've never heard of such.
MLM, like screams of MLM. So and then the person
do them on TikTok Live now,
track of like how many like things they have to send out. Like, Jennifer, I'm sending your package tomorrow. You'll be getting, your beautiful thing set in, and it's just all crap stuff. It's very strange.
Meal kits often market themselves as an easy meal prep solution, but often disappoint with complicated, overlong recipes that aren't worth the effort. Fortunately, Home Chef knows that struggle and delivers fresh, delicious meal kits that respect your time. You guys, lately, I have been so freaking busy recording all of these episodes, all of these extra episodes. And when it comes to dinner time, I am wiped out, and I do not have 45 minutes to an hour to cook something for myself or for anybody else. Users of leading meal kits have rated Home Chef #1 in quality, convenience, value, taste, and recipe ease. This is what I'm talking about. Easy recipes. So whether you prefer the classic meal kits with the pre-portioned ingredients, which I like, but lately they've also got these quick 30-minute recipes, which is saving my life. They also have oven-ready options, which are another lifesaver. They have microwave meals, or they have a dedicated family menu that is, if you've got little kids, sometimes you need to get something different. Home Chef has everything you and your family needs for those hassle-free, delicious dinners. Home Chef has over 30 options a week and serves a variety of dietary needs. Plus, we love this, it's economical. Home Chef customers save an average of $86 a month on groceries. That's a lot of money. And when meal planning ends up being on the back burner, check out Home Chef's new 5-ingredient meals that simplify prep with super easy recipe steps using 5 fresh pre-portioned ingredients. Y'all, you can get in the kitchen, you can pull it out of the fridge, you can prep it in 10 minutes, pop it in the oven, and you've got dinner on the table and everybody's happy, okay? For a limited time, Home Chef is offering my listeners 18 free meals plus free dessert for life, and of course, free shipping on your first box. Go to homechef.com/pinkshade. That's homechef.com/pinkshade for 18 free meals and free dessert for life. homechef.com/pinkshade. Must be an active subscriber to receive free dessert.
Keenan and Lakin Give You Deja Vu is the podcast hosted by me, Stacey Keenan.
And me, Christine Lakin.
On Keenan and Lakin Give You Deja Vu, we recap the iconic 90s sitcom and TGIF mainstay step by step.
While I was a fan and watched every episode,
I am watching the show for the very first time.
We are lifelong friends and TV stepsisters.
So join us for a juicy peek behind the scenes as we explore what it was like to come of age in front of the cameras on a hit network TV show.
For sweet 90s nostalgia, breakdowns of classic 90s looks, and plenty of laughs. Let Keenan and Lakin give you deja vu
on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
I've seen the TikTok lives where people have all of like the fake bags behind them.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I'm like, oh, you want
Katie told me about that.
the
Yeah.
Dior on the top level? Okay, all right, $35.99. Okay, thanks for paying. Well, I was like, who's keeping track of who's buying this and who's sending? And
it's like Mary from like Sister Wives when she does like her Lulu those hauls with like do you want the Melinda top with the whatever leggings and like
with the leggings with the margarita glasses? That's fun on a Friday. Whoop whoop.
And they're like talking to people in the comments. It's so strange. I don't understand it.
Interesting. Wow. Okay. It does that the pearls are all colored, so it's obviously fake. Because I mean, literally, she goes, I don't even think these pearls are real.
No,
you think?
They're literally plastic, and they put them in a bathtub and put like dye in it, and it like dyes them.
Of course. And then
pearls are not pink.
And then where do they get these like oyster shells? They like seal them back up.
Yeah, this company, and it smells really bad. And the women that are doing the lives like are shucking like with gloves on, and they're talking about the smell, but they're trying to act like it doesn't bother them because you're trying to sell this product. And the fun is like watching them open these things, but they're so bored. They do this. They go on these streams for like, I don't know, 20 hours a week. So they're just like, yeah, Jennifer, whatever. And then, but some people are like glittered up and like really into it. And they're like, hi, Jennifer, how are your kids? What's going on? How was that storm? Did you get rain? How are your parents doing? And they're like talking like really animated. But there are also some that are so over it and they hate their job. And they always decorate their background. Like if it's St. Patrick's Day, like they go nuts with the St. Patrick's Day stuff behind them. It's the weirdest thing. It's such a weird niche culture thing that I got sucked into like years ago. So when she started,
I just wrote down Pearl Party ? I'm going to look it up.
Yeah, and I'll send you our Patreon episode, but I'll send you the videos if I can find it of like the fun gay glitter guy who just has glitter everywhere, or like the really bored like moms that are doing this to just stay afloat. It's just bizarre.
But I just don't get it. So, you got a blue one. So I'm going to put it in like another plastic bracelet. And I'm going to send you this plastic shit.
Yes. And the fun is that's why like the jewelry that they have in bath bombs, they're like, they put in the bath bomb in water on camera, dissolve it. And then I'm like, isn't that part of the fun? Like you're at least supposed to do it at home. No, you're watching someone else do it. Like, and then discussing on camera. And then everyone in the comments will be like, ooh, that's a pretty necklace. Congratulations, Sarah. Oh, Sarah, you're going to love that. Like they're all encouraging each other to buy like more stuff and then watch the bath bombs or the candles. They melt and then reveal this like cheap ass jewelry inside. And so it's in like, I don't get, isn't that part of the fun to do it yourself? But it's not, because it's like this community thing where you're hanging out in the comments, like drinking wine maybe and bored at home and have no friends. I don't understand. It's sad, but like it's bizarre.
I'm just going to highlight this so I don't forget to go look that up.
And people have like kids walking by in the background and like their husbands walking by, and she's like, no, I'm doing the Pearl Party stuff.
Oh my gosh.
Or the husband is part of it. And she's like, James, write down that Sarah gets 2 of the blue pearls set in the bracelet. Okay. And he's like, got it. Like taking notes. It's very weird.
They're like, we made $27 on a Wednesday. It doesn't make it. Okay. All right. Back to these people. So the pearls are all colored. I didn't get it, but now you're telling me it's a thing. So in the talking head, Hilaria says the worst case scenario is he'll be guilty and he'll be taken away, like right on the spot. But she says, I don't let myself, think about that. So Hilaria goes over to her friend Danny's house. She has known Danny for 12 years. I would like to know what Danny does for a living, because he also had a very nice Hamptons house.
Mm-hmm.
She says she doesn't have family close to her, there, because, they all live in España. And she relies on her friends. So Danny says, how you doing? Like, how you coping, with the pressure of what's happening? And she tears up and says, I don't know. I'm really in war mode. I don't know. I imagine I'm probably not dealing well, but I don't acknowledge it because I'll break. And I've been in that situation before. Like, I know that this is not good and that I am disassociating from it. And I know that once it comes to me, it's going to be bad, And a lot of people deal with that when somebody passes away. You're like, I just have to like power through this like funeral and all
Uh-huh.
that, and then I'll think about it next week,
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that's what she's saying. She's like, I got a bunch of kids here, like I can't, And she says, I hope that no matter what, the whole thing will be swift, and then it'll be over either way. And she says, however it's going to end one time, and it won't be a good ending either way because none of it's good. There's no good
Right.
ending. Yeah, because
Mhm.
somebody still died.
Mhm.
She says it's traumatic for everybody that was connected. And she says, I found some text messages from Alec the other day during that time frame saying he wanted to unalive himself. And Danny says, I remember talking to him a couple of days after it happened, and it was like talking to an entirely different person. Again, that's your trauma.
Mhm.
And he said he was so traumatized, so heartbroken. I didn't even like recognize what he was saying. And they're talking heads. She says Alec has survivor's guilt, which of course anybody would, I think, with any
Mhm.
kind of a heart and soul would. And she says he wishes it was him. He would change places with her in a second.
Yeah.
And it has affected his health and his mental health tremendously. And in the last year, he's developed heart problems. And she's like, he's been hospitalized many times. He's fainted. He's been on the floor. I'm trying to revive him. And she says, and it's hard sometimes, but hopefully right now, this is the hardest. And we're at the tail end so we can get to the next side. Right.
Mhm.
So she asked Danny's advice. Do you think I should go to New Mexico? Should we all go? Should I just take Carmen and the baby? Like, what should I do? My babysitter, Carmen, and the baby, we could all go.
Yeah.
Um, and she goes, any decision is going to feel wrong. And I'm going to get it criticized no matter what. Like, I'm a bad mom because I took the kids. I'm a bad mom because I left the kids. And he says, well, you have to remove that from the equation. You really do. And I agree with that, even though she's easy to criticize. I think that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so she tells Danny about what Carmen said about should I say goodbye to him in a special way? And then also she's very worried about us going into court, worried somebody will shoot us
That made me so sad.
because people hate them so bad. And she's
The
10.
the 10-year-old have like, because I had such extreme anxiety as a kid, I had those kind of thoughts, so I get it, like, and even though they're in such a privileged position and it's
Mhm.
not like money or something that most people have to worry about, like, anxiety will take you to a bad place no matter what your circumstances are, and
Yeah,
that's so scary that she even thought that. I wonder if kids at school were saying stuff,
probably. Probably. And Danny says,
or she heard it on
Carmen.
TV, you know?
Yeah, right. Yeah. I don't know what level her iPad's at, but probably
Yeah,
12 and above. And 12 and
yeah.
above is everything, by the way. And Danny says, Carmen is just a kid and she needs to feel safe. And this is, scary for her. And he's like, poor Carmen, justice for Carmen. So 4 days until trial. Whole family goes on a golf cart. There were 5 kids plus parents. I don't know. Carmen had to stay back home with the baby, I guess.
No, she was there. She was
Oh, she
wearing
was.
a hat just like the mom. They were
Of course.
both wearing hats to protect, your skin.
Right. Mhm,
At
right.
10, you have
Right.
to, worry about
She's
wrinkles.
she's gonna look like Nicole Kidman when she gets older. She's
Uh-huh.
glass. Skin's
Yeah.
gonna be like glass.
Mhm.
They go out to shovel the poop, and Alec talks about growing up. His dad was on edge and financially struggling every day, and his mom had no help and 6 kids. And he said there was a period where my mom popped a bunch of pills and slept all day.
Uh,
And it was pretty interesting. And he said, when I left my home and I didn't have another home for 35 years and I didn't know it until I met Hilaria,
hmm.
which is very sweet, which means when I lived with Kim Basinger, that bitch, it was
That
not
bitch
like a
that
home.
sucked.
I wonder how long they were actually married if
Yeah.
their divorce dragged on for 7 years.
Yeah. Was it more like a Hollywood fling type thing? Well, they had
Yeah.
the kid. No, because the kid was, like, young when so they must have been married for a while at least.
How long was Alec Baldwin and Kim Basinger married? That's the second. Um, 93 to 2002.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
9 years.
Mhm.
They were married for 9 years. Ireland was 7
Mm.
when they started the divorce. Wow. Why did they break up? Um, she's fraught. He wasn't emotionally or mentally available. Okay, well, You don't seem like a prize either. I'm just kidding. I don't know anything about. I'm sorry. I don't know anything. I don't know anything. I know she did have agoraphobia for a long time. Kim Basinger.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Well,
Two of
he
them.
seems emotionally available now, so it seems like
That's right.
he's worked on that
He worked on that. Yeah,
therapy.
starter family. Now
Yeah,
he's doing this. Yeah. Can you
First Wives
imagine
Club.
Kim Basinger sitting at home, seeing him just every day, every week? There's another kid. She's like, "What's he doing?"
What's he doing? And he keeps
Yeah.
talking about how he hasn't found home until Hilaria.
Yeah, he's
F
like, "Thanks a
you,
lot,
dude.
thanks a lot, dude. Thanks a lot." He says, "I wanted this. I wanted this." And he said, "I want the kids to walk into the door and feel like it's home." Um, well, listen, if anybody's got that Hampton house, anybody'd feel at home.
Mhm.
So Alec gets on the phone in the stables. He's trying to get her an anniversary present. He's like, "I like these pearl earrings with the blah, blah, blah. Can you overnight them? Because the anniversary's 2 days. I forgot." I mean, he was in LA. He could have just swung by a
Yeah.
jewelry store.
Mhm.
2 days until
He's
trial.
distracted.
Also, by the way, probably if he went into a jewelry store, it would look bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
So 2 days until trial. It's their wedding anniversary, 2 days before the trial. And in the talking head, she says, we have been parenting from a near empty tank. And while I try to be fun and put a smile on my face, the kids are intuitive and they know that I'm coming from a place where I just constantly have like a pit in my stomach with worry. So they get the kids to help with giving the gifts. And meanwhile, people are, that Lulu seems like a real pain in the ass. So Lulu first did the finger at breakfast. Then she
Yeah.
was like, "Give me the phone, you bitch," in the car.
She's like a little like Danny DeVito baby that's just like
I'm concerned about Lulu's behavior. She is 3, and
yeah.
3 is terrible twos are not a thing. It's the terroristic threes is what it
Yeah.
is. 3-year-olds are terrorists. And so people are climbing all over her. And mom, can I have popcorn? Mom, can I have popcorn? Can I have popcorn? Mom, can I have popcorn? Mom. And they're like, no, the baby can't have popcorn. Babies can't eat popcorn. Mom. And the other kid
Oh my
goes up and puts his face in the camera. Ah!
My anxiety was just going through the roof, just overwhelmed. Stop, be quiet, please.
So he's looking at the gift and he's trying to read the card. He says it's really nice. And she's trying to explain about the gift and everything. Meanwhile, the kids are screeching about popcorn. Can we go in the pool?
Out of there for your
Can we go in the
gift
pool?
exchange. Don't
we go in the
do
pool?
this with the kids.
Can I go in the pool?
Where are the nannies?
Go in the pool. And Alex like, okay, but
It's like that Stewie clip from Family Guy. Mom, mommy.
Alec is worried about one of the kids has his face painted, and he goes, somehow we're gonna have to figure out how to get that off. She was like, it comes off, it's okay. So she gets up to deal with the kids. She's like, Paola, Lizzie, Carmen, get out here and get these children. So she comes back out alone and she explains the gift to him and he goes, oh, real silk. Yeah. She's like, yeah, it's real silk. It's silk for the anniversary. It's St. Michael protection.
Very thoughtful.
And yeah, it's very thoughtful. And some people just have that. They have that gift to be able to get the perfect gift.
You're good.
So, no, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
No, I disagree. So I'll fight with you.
Taylor Swift pillow.
I know. Well, yeah.
Disagrees with you.
So she reads the card. He tears up, and then he goes, "Okay, so I got this present for you." He opens it for her. I was like, "Isn't it fun to open it yourself?" But she's like, "He has so little. 2 days till trial. Let him open it himself."
Yeah.
So opens the present and shows it to her, and he goes, "This may be where we have different tastes because your generation has no taste. But it's just like pearl earrings. I don't know if they had diamonds on them or what, but she likes them." And she says, we've got to figure out what to do. Now, by the way, of course, this is not regular people problems. Regular people would never book a plane 2 days before.
Yeah.
It's too expensive. I don't know if they have a private plane. They're going to use NetJets or what, but
no, I'm sure no, that would be a terrible look to fly in on a private plane.
It sure would. Yeah. So I was like, you're just going to United Airlines, got to get free tickets real quick.
Yeah.
It's expensive.
First class.
So she says, I want to come with you. I want to be there for you. And he goes, let's not ruin the anniversary by talking about this. And she goes, it's on my mind. So in the talking head, she says, he's of a generation where he's really bad at asking for help. And he says he wants me to stay here to stay with the kids. But he's like one of those animals that would go off in the woods to die alone because he doesn't want to ask for help, which means I have to take care of him. I need to go and be there with him. And then she says, don't you think it'll be better if I'm there with you? And he goes, what if it's just so many days? And what if it's not going well? And she goes, I don't know. And he goes, well, we're going to have to sell those earrings right away. And she goes, no, I love the earrings. And she says, I'm afraid to leave all the kids with the nannies and Carmen. So maybe I just bring Carmen and the baby because Carmen can babysit the baby in the hotel room alone when we go to court. What are we doing? Carmen is 10.
She can just drive around. Oh, wait, she doesn't have her license because she's
She's just
10
gonna
years old.
hang out in the hotel in New Mexico with the baby?
What are you thinking?
Is there a third nanny we're just not seeing? And the third nanny is also going to go.
This is very strange.
And then the 2 nannies are going to stay with the other 4 kids.
Right.
Is Ireland coming in? We don't know.
Right.
So he says, I'm so grateful to you. He says, I don't know where I would be without you, honestly. And they kind of snuggle up. And she says, I wonder what our life will be like next year at this time. And he says, I don't know. All I know is I don't ever want to be without you. Like, don't leave me. And she goes, I'm not going anywhere. She says, it'll be okay. And he says, happy anniversary. And that's it. And then we see some scenes for next week, scenes of the trial and the 2 of them in therapy.
Good.
Get
Carmen in therapy. ASAP.
Carmen needs therapy.
Carmen needs therapy. Please, dear God. I don't want that child to suffer anymore.
I'm very worried about Carmen.
I'm so freaking worried about Carmen. Like,
I think that's the takeaway of this show.
Yes, is save Carmen. Hashtag save Carmen. Like when I would watch the Duggars and everyone was like, save Jessa, save Ginger, and it was like, save Carmen from this. I mean, she loves her family, but like she needs some therapy. She's having horrible, terrible thoughts and anxiety, and like I think she said they had to have her sleep in their room or something because she wouldn't sleep by herself after the shooting happened. Like this is all trauma that this poor girl is going through, and she has to be a mom to 6 children. That's too much.
It's too much.
Yeah. And she has to worry about her style all the time and her hair and her skincare. It's too much.
Raphael's 9 now. He can step up.
Yeah. Have him get a rental car and drive the kids around.
Raphael, take your brothers for a haircut. See you in an hour. Go down to the bodega. Give me a beer. Yeah. I think they just need to live in the Hamptons. I don't think they need to go back to the city. I think they need to live in the Hamptons. And if dad has to work or if she has to work, they got the 2 nannies.
Yeah.
I think they need to sell that New York City apartment and get a smaller one just for like if they have to come into town for something. There's no reason for all 9 of them to ever be in the city. I think.
Yeah. Except they go to school there and they probably like it.
God, I hope they go to public school because that's a lot of kids to put in private school.
Yeah, that is.
So close together too. You don't even have time to save up any money in between.
Yeah. Oh, it gives you such a agita.
I know. And this is a man that is retirement age.
I know. He's going to have a heart attack.
He's a national treasure.
I know. We are such like liberal, holy weird people.
It has nothing to do with this politics. Like when you said that last week, I was like, I kind of forgot that he's like super, super liberal and is very outspoken. I just like him from my TV.
Yeah. I just have heard always really good things. Like Janine Garofalo has like a whole bit about him when she worked with him on Saturday Night Live and how amazing he was. And he's like so kind and smart and like funny. And like she said, he was like James Bond, like any, like you have a cigarette. He's like, I have a lighter. Like you need this. I got this. You need a mint. Like he's just like that guy. And so I was like, oh, he seems like a nice guy.
Yeah. I'd forgotten about it. It's not, my love for him is not political. It has nothing to do with it. I know.
I think he just got on the wrong side of certain people because of his Saturday Night Live impressions.
Okay, well,
political, but then the shooting.
It's bad. It was bad. Nobody's saying that's not a complete tragedy.
No, it's horrible.
And I do see this show for what it is, everybody. I do see that it is like a big PR spin. I do get it. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's going to put her. I don't think we're all going to be like, you know what? I like that Hilaria Baldwin. I don't think we're all coming out of it thinking that, but I think we'll all come out of it like they've got a crazy life.
Yeah, they're real people with real problems.
Yeah.
And just because they're different than your problems doesn't mean they're not still real problems, especially for
Yeah.
the kids.
Yeah,
Like,
and I don't enjoy her faking not know it. I said cucumber, you say onion. I don't
yeah,
like it.
yeah, her
I'd
accent
like
went in and out a lot this episode.
it did, and
Like, when
I'd like
she's talking to the nannies, she's
mm,
definitely doing it because I think she talks to them in Spanish a lot, and so it comes and goes quite a bit.
well, then speak to them in Spanish.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
yeah,
do that because it would make that would help us maybe
yeah.
understand you a little
And
bit
on
more.
the engraved thing she got for him, she put a thing in Spanish, and he didn't even know what it meant. And I was like, "Why would you put a phrase in Spanish on his
Because
engraved thing, but that only you can read, that he doesn't know what it means?"
that's how he first got into her because
Because
she was
she was
Spanish.
exactly.
She was exotic
Mhm.
from
From
Boston.
Boston.
Oh,
How do
guys,
you
we
say
just
Boston?
I say Boston did Balduinos. So she says, there's Raphael, Leonardo. And then I said at the table when I was talking to my friends the other night, I go, I can name all the children. I've watched one episode. I can name
Yeah.
all the children. Let's do it.
Mhm.
Carmen, Raphael, Leonardo, Romeo, Maria, which is Lulu, the baby, Ilaria. Who did I forget?
I don't know.
That's only 6. Carmen, Raphael, Leonardo, Romeo, Eduardo.
Yeah, yeah, Ed.
Don't forget Eduardo.
Mhm, mhm,
And then we have Lulu, the baby is Maria, Lulu,
mhm,
and then the new baby, the monster, Ilaria.
mhm. Oh, and Ireland. Forget don't worry about it.
I've got a 28-year-old named Ireland. Ireland, which has nothing to do with Spain.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah.
God,
The weird
you do
weird
wonder
life.
what Kim Basinger is sitting at home thinking.
I know. It's so funny. Someone should do a parody of that. Dressed like her, like, pretend watching the show. That would
Yeah.
be hilarious. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Oh, wow.
You're from Boston.
Ireland, what is your dad doing?
They just showed a picture of me from the tabloids.
At least I look good in my Oscar dress. When she won the Oscar, he was with her.
Yeah.
Amazing.
It was funny, like, some of the tabloid shots they showed were very much like Kim Basinger is the star, and she happens to be married to this okay actor. Like, he was just, like, not that big then.
Yeah, he said The Hunt for Red October was 1989, and it said they were married from 93 to 2002. So he was a big actor, but
Yeah,
maybe not as big as her.
not as big as her, yeah.
Here's what I predict. In the next 10 years, Alec Baldwin is going to be an EGOT. Predicting it.
Good for him, I hope so.
Good for him.
I'm very sorry that there was a woman that died, though, and there were mistakes. Very many mistakes made. Yeah,
I agree with all that.
yeah,
Okay. Don't hate us because we love it.
yeah. Don't hate the player,
Everybody
hate the game.
listen to Katie and Kimberly at Date with Dateline. Follow them on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram at Pink Shade Pod. And we'll be back here next week for another episode of the Baldwins.
Yay! Bye,
Yay.
everybody.
Ads not read by me, Mary Payne, don't necessarily reflect the views of Pink Shade. If you'd like to listen to ad-free, you're going to go on over to Supercast or Patreon, and you can find the links to Pink Shade Prime at pinkshadepodcast.com.